est-ce qu'on commet l'adultère lorsque, par ailleurs, très chaste, n'allant pas avec une femme, eh bien, on regarde une femme qui est très belle.
Do we commit adultery when, on the other hand, very chaste, not going with a woman? We look at a woman who is very beautiful, we unclean gaze, for example, in the street. One could say, nevertheless, it happens to all men, and therefore it is not possible. If it is God's commandment, then no one is to be saved. We are all sinners. Well, there's an explicit text of Jesus saying it in Matthew chapter 5. You have heard that it was said, you should not commit adultery. But I said to you that everyone who looks at a woman with a lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart. When Martin Luther came across a text like that, he despaired, saying that I will never be saved. What if I die suddenly? I will not be saved. He reassured himself by inventing the following theory. Since God asked me to be a believer, to acknowledge my sins, then my faith alone is enough. If I have faith, I'm sure I will be saved. The Catholic Church did not accept this hypothesis, which at least reassured Martin Luther. At the Council of Trent, the Church says, faith is tied with charity. Charity saves. Faith without charity is nothing. And it's textually said, if I have faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I'm nothing. Or when Jesus says in Mark 12:30, the most important commandment is, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart. And the second one is, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. So first question, is a man guilty of adultery if he takes a impure look? The answer is yes, he is guilty for real, but it only becomes a source of despair if one believes that holiness means reaching absolute perfection in your body and in your mind, never having an impure thought. This vision of holiness is false. A holy person has fundamentally a repentant and humble heart. He is someone who knows his weaknesses, someone who who acknowledges and tries to improve his imperfections. No worry, if one does not see his sin or does not feel weak at some point in his life, he will be reminded he will fall into sin, for no one is perfect. If it is not enough thought, if one recognizes one's weaknesses by saying to oneself, I can sin as much as I want, no worry, God will be merciful and forgive me, one will have the attitude of the famous monk who was called Rasputin, who betrayed the Emperor Tsar Nicholas II, and this monk's philosophy was, I'm a poor sinner, therefore I sin and mercy will come. And Rasputin has become perverted with prostitutes. It was insane. The second thing it takes is love, the love of God and the love of neighbor, which forces us to make efforts to fight against our faults. Faith and love tied together are, on one hand, a repentant heart who knows that he is worthless before God, that he does not deserve to go to heaven, and on the other hand, love, which by love tries to change, to improve his faults, never giving up even when he falls, a loving and repentant heart altogether. These are the 2 feet that make a Christian walk toward the eternal life. As for our sins of weaknesses, those looks that many men have, and even women, they will only disappear at the hour of the death, when God will release us from what is called the core of sin that He left in us after the original sin. God has a purpose in leaving us with these weaknesses that we must fight. The purpose is precisely to reach the point of humility, to gain a repentant heart. If by chance someone becomes perfect and to the point of controlling his love to the perfection, there is a risk, pride, and then a long time to spend in the purgatory afterwards. So God prefers weak, fragile men who fight their sins, trying to be better for the love of God and the love of their neighbor.
Des hommes faibles, fragiles, mais qui se battent pour essayer d'être meilleurs par amour de Dieu et amour du prochain.